When should we start running after illness? That's the question I was asking myself 1 week ago. And in this video, I'm going to be looking back in terms of what went right, what went wrong, and how I'm going to take that advice and lessons learned going forward. So let's get into it. So firstly, a bit of context. So I'm 1 week on after feeling truly better after illness. So I felt it was a good time just to look back on that, sort of the week leading up, you know, anything that might have caused that illness or contributed at least, and then the decisions I made or didn't make as I went through. So I'm out on a long run today. It's a little bit different to what I was planning, but more on that later. First, let's look at that week. So on the Sunday, I done Watford half marathon and did a race vlog on that one, and that was a hard effort, and yeah, definitely was feeling the effects of that afterwards. So from that I couldn't run on the Monday and had to really scale back on the Tuesday, so my hips were really sore from that race. Wednesday I went out for a normal easy run, felt fine. And then Thursday I did some strength and conditioning in the morning, but I couldn't give it my all, and I realised sort of a cold was really coming on then, and I was feeling quite under the weather, so didn't run Thursday. That wasn't really much of a decision, I just wasn't up to it. Friday, my rest day, so didn't run as usual then, but was still feeling pretty rubbish. And then Saturday, this is the one I want to talk about because ultimately I made a mistake. So what happened was, bearing in mind I hadn't run as much as I usually do throughout the week, I was desperate to get out, didn't have the best night's sleep, wasn't feeling fantastic, but was determined to run. So I did. Actually recorded the video that I did last week, which was on my race predictor and sort of how my fitness had improved, believe it or not. And I actually, looking back at that video, I can see at the start that I'm not feeling my best, I'm not speaking clearly, I'm sounding stuffed up, and on reflection I shouldn't have been running. I was looking at my heart rate throughout that. I was trying to keep it super easy, which for me is normally between 9 and 10 minute miles. I was going about 10-minute miles and my heart rate was about 20 beats per minute higher than it usually is. So instead of sort of around 130, probably for that pace, it was in the 150s and sometimes the 160s. So number one, as I was doing that run, I should have slowed down. I wasn't running easy, even though I kidded myself into saying that I was. And then two, I think it was a day too soon. I think I didn't need to do that. Yeah, it was just a case of wanting to go out, do the miles, do some filming as well. That was in my mind, I'm not gonna lie. And that really just contributed to the decision I made to go out when I could have done with an extra day. Sunday, I made a better decision. I again had in my mind I was going to go out at my running club, which is a 10-mile run, and so I realised that wasn't the right call to make. That wasn't what I should be doing. So I scaled it back. I did a 7-mile run on the Sunday. I took it super easy, and my heart rate was exactly where I wanted it to be. I actually was doing at times sort of 11-minute miles, which for me is quite considerably slower than I would usually do an easy run. Certainly at least a minute, 2 minutes sometimes. And I just kept my eye on that heart rate the whole way, and I made sure it was always in zone 2, which for me is up to about 141 beats per minute. And honestly, that felt great in a strange way, to be able to be that disciplined and controlled, and I just wish I'd done that the day before. So yeah, it's just a case really of listening to your body, and this wasn't a big illness, you know, this was a cold and I was feeling a bit under the weather. You know, some people I know have been getting the flu, and that can really wipe you out for days and sometimes weeks at a time. So, you know, this is just my experience of a cold, relatively short-lived, and I'm not trying to make it dramatic or anything, but I just wanted to take this moment to reflect and realise actually I did make a mistake. I was so intent on getting in some miles, when really, when we think about it, a couple of days here and there, it's just not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. But I couldn't tell myself that at that time. I was just so intent on getting out there and getting some weekend mileage done that I didn't listen to my body. So I know that deep down, I really do, that a few days here and then isn't gonna make any real difference, but it's one thing to know, it's another thing to do it. And I wanted to record this video to remind myself, next time I'm ill, feeling under the weather, give yourself the time you need to recover. It's not gonna kill your fitness, it is gonna help you actually get back out there sooner. I reckon the reason I got ill was partly because I'd done a really hard effort on that Sunday. My immune system was a bit lower and a bit susceptible to illness, and then there's a lot of illness going around at the moment. We're still in winter. I've seen lots of runners going down with illness, so it's no real surprise that at times like these we can get ill, but it's about how we respond to that. It's about the decisions we make that are really important. So I just want to share this with you today, that like, be sensible, listen to your body, and don't worry about the odd day here or there. As much as it's hard to take that on at the time, it really can help improve your recovery and get you back to running quicker. So finally, just on this long run today, I was meant to be doing cross country, really hilly course, about 5.5, 6 miles, and then running back home from there another about 12 miles. It would have been, with a warm-up as well, probably about 18, 19 miles in total. Instead, I've got some early miles in, I'm joining my running club for a 10-mile route, and then I'm running back to the car, and I've ended up turning it into a bit of a time trial because I've got 3 hours parking to charge my car, and I want to do about 18 miles today. So most of it's going to be easy, and then I'm going to have to turn on the afterburners to get back before the 3 hour limit. And again, I'm hoping to do a bit more half marathon pace, which now I'm looking at 6:25 pace, which would give me a 1 hour 24 half marathon and a 3-minute PB. So that's the plan for today, and I will let you know whether I manage to get back in 3 hours or whether I'm facing a hefty fine. So I've just made it back to the car with literally 5 minutes to spare. It's 11:17, I've got to be gone by 11:22 to stay my 3 hour limit. The car is charging, I have charged. I can't believe I actually made it, to be honest. I was properly struggling. I couldn't do the half marathon pace I was planning, 6:25. Couldn't do the marathon pace, which was really nice, 6:50. I was doing 7 odd minute miles and struggling, but got it done. 17 and a bit miles, I think, 17 and a half, something like that. And oh my gosh, that should have been the video really. Can I make it back to the car on time? And I can, but only just. Thanks if you got it this far for watching along. Please do like the video if you've enjoyed it. Follow me on Strava and on Instagram, NRG Runs. Yeah, if you want to follow me on my journey, I'm trying to do a sub 3 hour marathon in October 2024, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. Really do appreciate all the love and support. Let me know any of your thoughts on this in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.